At the time of making this video, we're in season 2. I'm going to tell you what I look for in a duo myself. This is sort of like a checklist that I'll probably go through in my head. So whenever you personally are looking for a duo or you're experimenting with other people, you'll know what to do yourself. Also, at the end of this video, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my plans with Jive and some of the things we might have coming up. We still don't know if we're going to 100% duo or not. It's in the air right now. In the background is 2 of the Scrim games, the first time that Jive and I played together using this new meta. But one thing I sort of realized playing Fortnite, this might be a little controversial, but I think that the roles of like Fragger and IGLs, to me, I don't know, I almost feel as though they're not as necessary as people think they actually are. If you don't know what that is, an IGL is someone who is the in-game leader. They're leading the tarps, they're leading the rotates, they're making the final decision. A Fragger is someone who is just following the IGL and picking up kills along the way. They're usually the best fighter. For the most part, when I played with Jiven over the past like year and like, I don't know, 3 or 4 months, we both frag, we both IGL, we'll pretty much bounce ideas off each other. But at the end of the day, like right now, Jiven wanted to be the one to make the final call, which is fine. Like I don't really care. Sometimes in a pressure situation, you need that one guy that's going to make the call and the other person has to follow. Because if you have 2 people thinking 2 different things, you're going to make mistakes. There's a lot of times though where you're going to see Jiven and I playing and then he's leading, but he gets cracked. So I just instinctively take over. And that's kind of what you need. Like both of you can kind of fill that role so that it takes pressure off the other person. And it's just an easy way to play duos, especially when you're scrimming and playing tournaments. Now I could be wrong on that, but that's just my personal opinion. Obviously an IGL is super important, and even some of the best fraggers in the game aren't the best at the game because they don't know how to IGL themselves, which is why they usually will pair up with someone who is a good IGL. Now that that's out the way, that was a little bit of a rant. The first thing I really look for is someone who has around the same PR as me or better. That's something that you should definitely be doing yourself. Now I want to say that everyone knows what I'm talking about when I say that, but if you have no idea, go to Google, type in Fortnite tracker, click on the first link. You could type in your name, then go to events, and it says your PR at the top. Now, unless someone has insanely good mechanics, that's the only time I would try dueling with someone who is a lot less PR than me. If they don't have a lot of PR, that means they're not grinding the game a lot. They don't play a lot of tournaments, and you could still be insanely good at the game, but without a decent amount of PR, it almost kind of shows that you don't know how to play end games. And honestly, I don't even have that much PR. I have around like, I don't know, 15 or 17,000. But based on how confident I am when I play end games, it's comforting to know that the guy I'm playing with also will be just as comfortable if he has the same amount of PR or better. Now, I have to say the biggest thing is just good vibes. I can't even tell you like how many times I've had duos or just things in the past where I'll play with other people, is scrimming, whatever. If you guys are constantly fighting or there's just beef while you're playing, it makes the game unplayable. It will ruin your motivation to get better at the game. I promise you that. Even if they're cracked, I still wouldn't even do it. I'd rather play with someone of less skill who is way better vibes than someone who's cracked. Because at the end of the day, if you don't enjoy actually playing, then you're never going to want to play. That's some of the reasons I never even wanted to play with my friends back in the day, because there was just so much damn yelling. I will say, if you guys know who my duo is right now, Jiven, we bounce off of each other really good. Like we'll get mad at each other, but we don't yell. We try and just figure out from their POV what went wrong. I don't think Jiven has ever yelled at me, not even once, and vice versa. I mean, I call him stupid sometimes, but anytime we absolutely know it's the other person's fault, we'll wait a little bit and then just bring it up later and be like, yo, like, what were you thinking in this moment? What was going through your head? That way we try and use it as like a teaching moment rather than just a raging moment. Honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, the thing, even when we do rage, usually it's off stream, it's still really good vibes, because when we do yell, we're like yelling at the game rather than yelling at each other. All right, so that's like the main thing. So the next thing is I need to know their play style, right? I'll look at like montages or just other tournaments that they played. I'll even 1v1 them to see how good they are compared to me. If I'd like 20-0 someone, I'm never gonna do it with that person. But their main thing is just their decision making on piece control. How good are they at trying to do stuff behind peaks? If my duo, like Jiven, he's really good at not taking damage while he's doing a peek. Him and I were always practicing this Raider piece control map where we don't take damage against the bots. So if they have good peaks, then they're going to be insane in the game. When you look at someone's playstyle, it's pretty important. Like I'm looking at their crosshair placement. How good are they at just building and shooting people in general? Do they line up headshots after they make edits, or are they constantly shooting at the body? I mean, maybe they're a controller player who has insane aim, but their builds aren't that good. So I know like where I'm going to need to help out when I play duos with them. Pretty much I try to look at the holes in their gameplay so I can figure out if I would be a good fit and like how can I support them in the game. That's why I really always like to duo with other people who are content creators, because it's super easy to see see their gameplay. Some people will hit me up in the DMs that I've literally never seen before. They don't have a YouTube channel. They don't even stream, so I can't see their gameplay at all. And I'm just taking a complete 50-50 shot about whether or not they're good. That's why most of the people that hit up content creators just never actually end up duoing. Even though they might be cracked, they have no idea, and they don't want to waste their time trying out a million different people. Next up is kind of like the schedule. So Jivin and I, we developed the schedule around the content we play, so it's kind of really good because we're always scrimming almost all the time. I don't take scrims super serious, and I know that a lot of pros kind of clown on the idea of scrimming all the time, so a lot of people don't take it that serious, which is understandable. I mean, if you're top of the cream like Booga, like, you might not need to scrim all the time. Like, you can get away with not doing it. But if you're not a tier 1 pro, I feel like scrimming is definitely the way to help me improve. Every time I scrim, I'm always learning 1 or 2 things when it comes to the meta. So one thing I like about Jivin is that when we play scrims, we take it serious the entire time. We'll get surged, we'll fight kids properly, our rotates are together and we're not separated. So the main way I test someone out is not by 1v1ing them or just watching them. I'll literally play scrims with them. I feel like it's impossible to know whether or not you're going to be a good fit with someone unless you do that. You can see their decision making when they're under pressure. Do you agree with their rotates? I feel like there's a million things you can look at when you play scrims with someone, and you can kind of nitpick their decision making in the moment. And then from that, you kind of develop an idea about whether or not you want to play with this person. So to sum it up, it's the good vibes, the same amount of PR or better. How well can they fit into like a said role or not even having roles when you play together? Look at their play style, look at their crosshair placement, see how you guys do together in scrims, and that's pretty much it. Now let me tell you something real quick. This is like a side note. My plans with Jivin, my current duo at the moment. Let me know what you guys think of this idea too, because I'm kind of interested. We're going to be trying out different people in scrims, and we're probably going to make a little series out of it. So now that the new season's here, the Discord server that we're in that does scrims, which is open to the public, you can Google Manu scrims or Vital scrims, and that's for NA. They're running scrims 2 times a day for like 4 games at a clip, afternoon and then later at night. So we were thinking of finding a different duo to try out in the first set of scrims, and then Jivin and I would practice in the second set, so that way we're still playing together, and we would make a video about why we would be a good fit or why we wouldn't be. I don't know, it could be a pretty interesting idea, but I'm not exactly sure how we're gonna work it. Let me know your thoughts down below. It's been your man Ken, and hope you learned something. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.